Welcome back to the channel, everyone. And if you're new here, welcome to Nico Sniffs. Here we mainly talk about fragrances, so if you enjoy fragrances, be sure to stick around. So today we're going to be talking about the differences and similarities between Dior Sauvage Elixir and Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Why am I doing this? Because these two are the biggest blue fragrance houses, or not really houses, but of all the releases, Bleu de Chanel pretty sure started the blue fragrance genre as a whole, and then Dior Sauvage, or the company Dior, took that, created Dior Sauvage and kind of ran with it. And I think Dior Sauvage is one of the best sellers, if not the best seller of the past decade. So with that in mind, I chose to compare the highest concentration of both. Why? Because personally, I think those are the best versions, right? You're given the initial DNA at the beginning with the eau de toilette, and then with every single other concentration release, it gets a little bit deeper, a little bit darker, a little bit more complicated, a little bit more intricate. And so for the sake of today's video, I wanted to compare the highest concentrations of both fragrances. And the reason I'm discussing about this now, sorry about that, is because I feel as currently in 2024, we are at a position where these companies aren't as obsessed with blue fragrances anymore. So I feel as though Dior Sauvage isn't going to be continued. I could be completely wrong. I don't know what other kind of concentration they could release. And for Bleu de Chanel, I don't really feel as though they are the type of company, or Chanel is the type of company that will release an Elixir variant of their fragrance. I feel like they're kind of above that. But you know, anything can happen. Their marketing team could wake up one day and release or decide on releasing a Bleu de Chanel Elixir. They would be a little bit late to the game, but not entirely, because I mean, Elixir is kind of like the new style right now. But anyways, so I want to compare these two. So let's get straight into it. Both of these, as mentioned before, are essentially blue fragrances, and they do the blue fragrance genre very, very well. Now, there are a few minor differences between these two, and let's get into those right away. So starting off with probably one of the most important things, actually there's two, I'd say there's two very important factors. Number one is the actual scent, the smell, and number two would be the performance of these fragrances. And so starting off with the scent, I'm pretty sure most of us are familiar with how the general Bleu de Chanel fragrances smell like and how the Dior Sauvage fragrances smell like. However, in case you are not familiar, let's give both of them a spray on the arm. We're gonna start off with Bleu de Chanel Parfum. We're gonna spray actually my elbow. You guys can get a sense of the atomizer. There you go. Pretty good. I mean, you're not gonna complain about atomizers when it comes to Chanel and Dior. It's already screaming at my nose just from that spray. I don't even have to put my nose up to it. And then we're also gonna spray Dior Sauvage Elixir. Mainly, the only difference I can tell between these two is that Dior Sauvage Elixir, and again, this is mainly just the opening, but just overall through the entire journey of the scent, throughout all of it, Dior Sauvage Elixir is consistently more spicy, in my opinion, and Bleu de Chanel Parfum is fresher. Now that could be due to the concentration. I mean, these are different concentrations technically. This is Elixir, although it's obviously not true Elixir, it's just branded as Elixir. And then with Bleu de Chanel, this is a Parfum, obviously, so the scent profile is going to be slightly different between the two. And so in terms of the scent DNA, they both smell amazing, in my opinion. They're versatile, they're classy, they're rich, very, very rich. Like, this is a true and authentic, like, luxury fragrance for the average person. Okay, so someone who doesn't smell niche consistently, because even I don't, but for the general person out there, when they smell this, they're gonna think it smells amazing and of like super high quality. And so if that is the goal, if that's what you're going for, both of these are really good for you. The only thing I do have to say again is in the scent profile, this one is a bit spicier. And so for that reason, I'd say this fits fall and winter a lot better. Meanwhile, Bleu de Chanel Parfum, I feel like you can get away with this even in spring super easily, and then summer it works better in the evenings. Like you could consistently, I think, wear this in the evenings, while this one might choke people out. And that brings me to the second point, which is performance. And so comparing these two performance-wise, if that's mainly what you're looking for, then Dior Sauvage Elixir is definitely the fragrance for you. If not, if you just want really good performance, Bleu de Chanel Parfum will do the job for you. In theory, you can get the same performance out of both of these bottles. To get Dior Sauvage to have the performance of Bleu de Chanel, all you have to do is literally do like a half spray on one side and a half spray on the other side. And that way it'll last a super long time, but it won't choke people out. And then if you do want to choke people out with Bleu de Chanel Parfum, all you gotta do is spray yourself 10 to 15 times and people will smell you everywhere. It'll be like an atomic bomb, just as if you sprayed this 3 or 4 times, right? So performance-wise, I don't think it's an issue. However, if you do want to get, in theory, the best bang for your buck for projection, and both projection and longevity, Dior Sauvage Elixir is definitely for you. And so to conclude the comparison between these two fragrances, ultimately, in my personal opinion, the main differentiating factor is when and for what you are using these. While both of these are technically blue fragrances, I believe this is much more versatile than Dior Sauvage Elixir. So if you're looking to wear something pretty much all year round, any occasion, and you just want to smell super luxurious, super classy, super rich, like, yeah, smell like a rich, wealthy man, but also like a scent DNA that's like literally rich, Bleu de Chanel Parfum is for you. On the other hand, if you want something that's a little bit more winter specific and fall, and you want something that just screams out at everyone in the room, if you want that kind of attention, then Dior Sauvage Elixir would be better for you. Personally, in terms of like scent DNA and everything, I prefer Dior Sauvage Elixir. That's just a personal opinion and preference. However, it's obviously important that you get your nose on both of these. So personally, I prefer Dior Sauvage Elixir, but the fact that you can't wear it all year is kind of a bummer. So if I had to pick just one between the two, I'd probably pick Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Plus, the presentation is just beautiful. I really love the gold writing on the darker bottle. I think it just looks really classy. But anyway, so that's my comparison between these two. I know it's not super necessary because, I mean, in 2024, who hasn't seen these fragrances? But I felt as though I didn't really discuss Bleu de Chanel on my channel. So kind of wanted to do a little comparison between these two fragrances. And plus, I don't know if they will be releasing another flanker to Bleu de Chanel. So I just wanted to kind of compare these two with each other. So if you are looking to buy either one or the other, hopefully it makes your decision easier. You kind of know what to watch out for. But yeah, so please let me know which one you like more in the comments. I know typically these fragrances kind of get hated on online. I mean, the hate has kind of died down, but in general, they're not really loved by the fragrance community. So if you do have a preference between one or the other, I'd be really curious to see which one you guys like more, especially after so many years of just getting blue fragrances, and you kind of get like these two basically on the throne for each of the brand, right? Like this kind of represents all of the Bleu de Chanel's, like it's the entire buildup up to this fragrance, and likewise with Dior Sauvage Elixir. So let me know which ones you guys like more in the comments, and then I will catch you guys later. Peace.